First for the visiting Brunswick Dolphins. Starting at guard, a sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina, number 2, Cam Oates. At guard, a sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 23, Landon King. Also at guard, a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 3, Armani Henderson. At forward, a sophomore from Roseville, North Carolina, number 6, Tyler Harvey. And at forward, a freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, number 15, Derek Green. Dolphins are head coached by Walter Shaw, who is assisted by Ken Aldrich, John Galloway, O.J. Hill, and Derek Wall. And now, introducing the starting lineups, you are Richard Bland, Season. Charlotte Johnson, South Carolina, number 12, also at guard, sophomore from Chester, Virginia, number 0, Jermaine Austin Jr. At guard, a freshman from the National Public, number 4, Amy Williams. At forward, a sophomore from San Antonio, Texas, number 5, Jim Smith. And at guard, a freshman from Fairfax, Virginia, number 11, Gordon Brown.
It's Richard Bland, and it's Brunswick Community College. Dolphins and Statesmen today on YouTube. Richard Bland at 4-8, 2-10 2-0 in the region, and Brunswick 12-4 and 0-2 in Region 10. Dolphins wrapping up this 3-game road trip. They lost both games last weekend in South Carolina. Fell surprisingly to Denmark 89-80 on Saturday of last week, and then lost to Salk in a shootout the next day, 125-119. Richard Bland, they played yesterday, second of a back-to-back here at home and second of a 4-game homestand. They beat Denmark Tech 70-47 yesterday. As Richard Bland controls the opening tip, and we're underway. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. A little bonus coverage. We didn't plan on doing this game. We were supposed to have a women's game. That game got called off. I called Coach Shaw, said, hey, Coach, I'm broke. I don't want to lose this money. Coach said, I got you, Chris. So here we are, wrapping up this 3-game road trip. On the putback, it's Smith. So Smith goes right to the hoop and scores an easy 2. This is Richard Bland's video, by the way, guys, so we don't have any control over it. Huddle. Sometimes it buffers a little bit. I've been working with Spartanburg, and sometimes we've had some issues. As Cam Oates buries the 3. So Cam Oates continues his hot shooting. Oates double figures scoring in 7 straight games. Now getting the steal for Brunswick. Oates off on that 3, but Henderson is there with the putback and the foul. Armani Henderson and Cam Oates combining for about 30 points a game apiece and 9 assists per game. What production. And you saw there the steal for Henderson. He still leads all of JUCO in steals per game at 5.8. And as far as I know, still leads all of college basketball in that category. So the trap is on. It worked once before. Fishburne gets it into the forecourt this time, but Brown with a lazy bounce pass. Nice job there by Cam Oates, tiptoeing on the baseline. Swings it out to Barbie for 3. Off the back iron, rebound controlled by Jermaine Costin Jr. Averages just under 6 boards a game. Brand new coach, Guillermo Cabrera for Richard Bland, taking over this year, and this is a brand new team that he's got for the Statesmen, who are playing pretty well so far in Region 10 play. The 3 by Brown is good. And Doyle Brown shoots 32% from behind the arc, cuts their deficit down to 1. So both teams in the full court press. Nice save there over on the sideline for Richard Bland. They get the turnover. Costin can't get the 3, though. So Dolphins on a 3-pointer by Oates and then an old-school 3-point play by Henderson have a 1-point advantage. looking to get the big guy Green involved. Henderson tip pass to Oates for 3. Off the back iron, hit it from the left side, so off on the right side. Full court pass goes to Brown. Throws up a wild shot, got it to go. So Brown's got a quick 5, and Richard Bland retakes the lead. And let it 2-0. Landon King and Barbie doing a nice job breaking the press. Henderson for 3. So he's got a traditional three-point play. Now Armani's got new school three-point play, and that's our third lead change already here in the first 2.5 minutes. Well, if you watched, nice hesitation there by Fishburne, Richard Bland the last couple of seasons, this is a much faster team under Guillermo Cabrera, as they have pushed the tempo in our first tie at 9 apiece. And if you watch last weekend against Salkehatchie, they're almost playing that old Loyola Marymount style down there in Salk. And a lot of trapping and pressing, which we've seen here in Petersburg, Virginia as well. I'm out there. I'm back at the home studio, by the way. Frigid downtown Cleveland. We got a little snowstorm going on right now. It is a beautiful day to stay in and watch some college hoops pretty much wherever you are. Nice reverse there by Ramirez. And Richard Bland really attacking at the rim here in the early going. Andy Ramirez, 15 points per ball game, 45% shooter. 7.3 rebounds as well. There's another steal, Costin this time. So it was Fishburne with the first steal. Now Costin's got it, and Cam Oates picks his pocket. So here's Cam Oates going one-on-one. Leaves it for Barbie, puts it up too strong, and it's tipped up and in by Green. Derek Green averaging 11 points per ball game and shooting 68% from the field. Give and go. Smith attacks, draws contacts, and we are tied at 11. It'll be free throws upcoming, and first a timeout. So 15:58 left to go. We're just settling into this one. A lot of offense so far, as we're even at 11 apiece. Well, as always, a big thanks to Joe and Mo's. I finally met Mo down at the Christmas tournament. It was nice to meet. I met Joe years ago, of course. Joe and Mo Automotives, of course, sponsor of Dolphins basketball. Chris Sheeman back here with you. It's nice to meet all of you who came up and said hello during the Christmas tournament. It was nice to see the beach. It was a really good weekend. And Mike Hayes Sr., I met him. Man, he's got that handshake. I had to ice my hands after shaking hands with that man. Whew, that old Big East player. He's Big East, old school Big East handshake, too. But it was nice to see everybody, and those of you who came up and said hello, big shout-out to y'all. It was fun to come down, but I'm back at the studio for the rest of the year. As Smith out of the timeout, Jalen Smith shooting 69% from the free throw line, missed them both. So we are still even at 11. A little bit of trouble there. Green able to gather. So Green back-to-back field goals gives Brunswick a 2-point lead. Cam Oates with the tip, but staying with it. Richard Bland able to get it into the front court. Brown passing in midair. And was it touched? It was deflected. I think Landon King, they say, touched it last. So it will stay with Richard Bland with 22 on the shot clock. We will be with you again on Wednesday. Dolphins back at home after this 3-game road trip to start Region 10 play to take on Wake Tech. Ramirez in the corner, throws it high for Brown. Still at 15 on the shot clock. Brown guarded by Henderson. Fishburne now with the shot clock down to 7. Brown's got 5 already. Pull up, defender fell down, couldn't bank it, and Green able to gather the rebound, throws it ahead to Cam Oates. Oates didn't have numbers, and he kind of looked to force the tempo there and force something that instead of pulling back and waiting for his teammates, tried to do just a little too much there and turned it over. So a rare mistake this season for Cam Oates, who's been outstanding for Walter Shaw's team. Nice steal there by Mike Hayes Jr., who's in the game for the first time. So he comes in, picks the pocket, got in that passing lane, and Brunswick trying to build on its 2-point lead. Landon King for 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound by Ramirez, had it poked away. But here comes Richard Bland in the front court again. It's Costin who traveled with the basketball. So the Statesmen turn it over. And that'll bring Khalil Cook in the game for Brunswick. And for Richard Bland, number 21, is Emmanuel Vonham, who averages 10 points per ball game off the bench. This is not a deep team for Richard Bland. They go about 8 deep. That's it. There are a lot of guys on that bench, though. But my roster does not have them very deep. Could be some injuries and other things at play. So here's Henderson into the forecourt. Henderson with 6, Oates with 11, Green with 4. That's all the scoring right now for Brunswick. Cook on the near side of your screen. He'll split the defense. Can't put it up and in, though. Ball tipped. It comes right to Latham, who's in the game. His turnaround bucket is good. So I forgot about Amari Latham in for the first time. 9 points per ball game, 55% shooter. He gets on the board and gives Brunswick its biggest lead at 4. These two teams have been nip and tuck, 3 lead changes and 2 ties already here this afternoon. Going to work, Vonham right off the bench. I told you, he's in there to make buckets, and that's exactly what he does in his first possession. Landon King attacks, banks it off the glass. Some easy shots at the rim both ways so far in this one. As Brunswick goes back up by 4. Vonham, here he goes again, too strong that time. Henderson's got the rebound. He'll survey into the forecourt. Throws it. It was tipped, but saved anyways by Landon King to make sure. He'll step into a 3. Might have grazed the rim. And the officials were late to the whistle there. But it looks like it's going off Richard Bland, and that was the proper call. So Brunswick gets another crack at it. 2 seconds off the 20, so shot clock at 18. As we're 6.5 roughly into this one. Blake Bartney has come in as Walter Shaw continues to shuffle bodies. Bartney joining Latham, Mike Hayes Jr. Henderson remains out there, and Khalil Cook. 3 from the corner is good. Blake Bartney makes an immediate impact. And Blake's been shooting well. 33% from 3 isn't fabulous, but he is pretty consistent at 46% overall from the field, and he gets his triple to go. So Brunswick leads by 7 now. Smith out deep with it for the Statesmen. Trapping defense right now for Brunswick, and that's going to be an extra step there by Vonham. So the defense, the double team was at the rim, and Vonham kind of got caught in no man's land, shuffled his feet. So Brunswick picking up the defense a little bit here after that quick burst of offense for Richard Bland. They came in, Richard Bland just 29% from 3 as a team. Dolphins 38%. Dolphins have been shooting well from behind the arc already today. Oates has a triple, Henderson and Bartney. Henderson will try another 3 from the corner. Got it to go. And Henderson has 9 points already. First in JUCO hoops, I mentioned in steals per ball game. He's also got 94 now total steals. Brown trying to answer. That went off the side of the backboard, and it's recovered by Ramirez. Good hustle by him, and he scoops and scores. Second field goal by Ramirez. So he's got 4. Dolphins by 8. Khalil Cook, too strong on the triple. Smith with the rebound. Smith gets around one man. And some nice defense there by Cook in transition. Cook just keeping vertical and getting the stop. Ball comes to Bartney in the lane. Pull-up is good. Blake Bartney with 5 points. Dolphins back up double figures by 10. Inside 12 to go. In fact, 11 and a half left to go here in this opening half. From Petersburg, Virginia, Richard Bland. Final of a 3-game road trip for Brunswick. Be back home, as I mentioned, on Wednesday. Vonham gets it out to Ramirez, fakes the 3. Pull up with 5 on the shot clock. Shot it over a double team and got it to go. So Ramirez leads them now with 6. Brown's got 5. Henderson has 9 for Brunswick. Bartney with 5 and Green with 4. Henderson, the lone starter, still on the court. Cook to Latham now. Bartney back to Henderson in the corner. Dolphins' patient offense right now against the zone. And Ramirez just ran out of real estate over on that sideline. That leads us to another break. 10:49 left to play until halftime. Good start for Brunswick. They've led by as many as 10 right now, up by 8. That's me, Chris Shima. Glad to be with you. Yeah, that's the view from the home studio. This is actually taken a little bit earlier. It's not snowing this hard right now. A good old-fashioned blizzard going on in Cleveland. I thought maybe you guys want to see a little taste of winter, although from what I understand, you guys are going to get some winter down there in the Carolinas, too. It looked like maybe last weekend it was snowing in the Myrtle Beach area, at least on the radar. I don't know, but I saw the weather for like the Charlotte, by Brunswick, and it was looking like it's going to get into the teens this week at nighttime. Ooh, good luck with that. We're going to be in the negatives at nighttime by the time that we're with you again on Wednesday. Just space heaters and send your blankets up north for me. Shot clock was winding down. How about that by Henderson off 1 foot? And he gives almost like the Jordan shrug. 12 for Armani Henderson, who has been red hot in this game. Dolphins have their biggest lead now out to 11. Ramirez is fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line. Second foul on Brunswick here nearing the midway point of this first half. But, yeah, I think the high the first 3 days, the highs are going to be like around 10, if not lower, and then we're going to be like -7 at night. And Tuesday, after I do Joe's game, I'm actually going out in that weather, if you can believe. I am thriving up here. Man, after 12 years in the South with all that heat, I'm just enjoying winter. Get some extra blankets out. I made a big pot of chili, some soup. I'm ready. But, yeah, I'm going to go to a basketball game that night, bundling up. So Ramirez trying to salvage the trip, and right now Richard Bland can't buy one from the free throw line, but nice hustle there by Vonham to get him an extra possession here. So Statesman will get an extra crack at it. Shot clock winding down, though. It's at 7. Catch, shoot 3. Ramirez rims it in. So Ramirez with 9. And Richard Bland cuts it to 8. As we're just past the midway point here in this opening half. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Wherever you're watching from, we appreciate it as always. Oh, they leave him open. Henderson finally misses one. Henderson with 12 points already today, most of that from behind the arc. He's got 3 3-pointers and an old school 3-point play. Smith into the front court. Cut off, got it to Fishburne between the circles. So Richard Bland was playing fast at the beginning. It kind of slowed the tempo down offensively. Using the baseline, Brown got it back out to Ramirez, who attacks. Can't score that time. Latham with the rebound in enemy territory. Bartney attacks. Back out. Latham for 3. Yes! Latham's second bucket. He's got 5. Brunswick matching its biggest lead now at 11. As we're just past the 9-minute mark. There's Smith going to work. Smith cut off. Fishburne. Shot clock is at 9 now for Ramirez. And Ramirez goes to the hoop. And the Dolphins foul him late in the shot clock. Third team foul on Brunswick. Just 1 on Richard Bland here with 8:40 to go until halftime. First appearance for Zion Gardner today. As Mike Hayes will sit down. And Christian Chambers is in for Richard Bland, wearing number 3 in gray there. So Chambers, Brown, Ramirez, Smith, and Vonham for Richard Bland. Garner, Cook, Henderson remains in the game. Latham, Bartney, that's the 5 for Walter Shaw. Officials are talking about something with Gardner, maybe his, I don't know what they were looking at, his shoes? Maybe he just needed a minute, a little wardrobe situation, but we're good to go. So Richard Bland down double figures for the 3rd time here this afternoon. Ramirez has been aggressive. He stays aggressive, can't score. Latham, another nice defensive board by Amari. And Blake forced that pass. It's a steal for Richard Bland in the front court. Bucket no good, but it's cleaned up by Vonham for his 2nd field goal. Lead is 9 for Brunswick, 31-22. Henderson to Blake Bartney out deep. Zone right now for the Statesman. Henderson over to Cook. Both teams have kind of shown this trapping zone. Latham and Bartney will try another 3. Hit his first, not that time. Rebound by Chambers for Richard Bland. Smith throws it ahead to Vonham. Vonham, mismatch there, so he gives it up to Brown. 7.5 left to go. Brunswick by 9. They've led by as many as 11. We had 3 lead changes, 2 ties early on in the game. Dolphins struggling on the defensive glass right now, and Vonham draws contact, so he's going to get to the free throw line when we come back. 7:25 left to play until halftime. Dolphins cruising right now by 9. Welcome back, everybody. 7 minutes, 25 seconds left to play until halftime, and Brunswick by 9. You know, I want to give a shout-out to the Mountain West Conference. Tiger Aldrich and I were talking about it when I was down there at Brunswick for the Christmas tournament. I don't know what the CAA is doing on Flow Sports, but you know the Mountain West Conference has an app, and you could just download the app, and you can just watch their games. Like, you don't have to sign up for ESPN Plus at $12 a month. You don't have to fork over your credit card information to Flow Sports, who's notoriously bad at keeping that information secure. The Mountain West just has all that stuff on this app, and I downloaded it, and I was like, oh, man, this is great. I can just watch some college hoops and without giving somebody my credit card information. I miss those days. It used to be all the conferences kind of did their own thing, and then ESPN came in and said, wait a minute, we can convince these people that they need us. But not every conference has gone that route. I don't know what the CAA is doing on Flow Sports. No D1 athletics should be on Flow Sports, period. Our little stream that we do at Brunswick with our 2 Android $100 cameras produce better quality than Flow Sports. And they're charging like, I don't know what they charge. I think it's like $20 a month or something. And then when you go to cancel, sometimes they don't cancel it. That's not to mention the ethical things that some of their camera people do with the women's sports. You can Google that. But anyways, my little ranting is over. But yeah, I found the Mountain West Network right on my Google TV, and they got apps everywhere, so it was nice. I watched the border war yesterday, Wyoming and Colorado State. I actually lived in Wyoming for a year. It was my first job out of college in Green River, Wyoming. I worked at the radio station there, so I've been a fan of Wyoming hoops ever since. Latham can't get the 3 to go, and Gardner's going to commit the foul there as Chambers had position. So Dolphins up to 5 team fouls, still just 1 for Richard Bland. As they've cut this 11-point lead down a little bit. It's at 7. Dolphins still comfortably ahead, but it's the offense has gotten stagnant. Bartney out of the game, by the way, as Landon King came back in while I was ranting about other things. Shot clock is down to 10. Again, this game started fast, and Richard Bland has really slowed it down a bit. Ramirez going to work with 4. Finds the open man, and the 3 in and out. Rebound controlled by Brunswick. Here's Landon King. 2 points in the half. Latham down low to the big guy, and Gardner missed it, tried to tip it short, and then lost it out of bounds. So missed the easy one, and the Dolphins come up empty yet again. It was 11-11 in the first media timeout. And both offenses cooling off a little bit down the stretch here in this opening half. Brown guarded by Cook. Here's Vonham. It's Chambers attacking, so Chambers comes up empty. Latham yet another rebound. He's been great on the defensive glass here in the half. Landon King has it swatted by Jalen Smith. Costin back in for Richard Bland as Chambers goes out. Henderson gets a short break. 12 points in the game for Armani as he's back in. Cam Oates with 3 here today. Henderson going to work, flips it up and in. I mean, they're just kind of letting him do whatever he wants out there. And he says, thank you very much. 14 in the game for Henderson. And away from the ball, we got a foul called on Richard Bland. So offensive foul, just the second on the Statesman. Oh, correction. I was wrong. They called it on Gardner. I thought we were going the other way with it. So Gardner in foul trouble. 16 fouls on Brunswick, and that'll get Green back in the game. Derek Green, 4 points here in the half. So no bonus yet for Richard Bland, but the next one will put him at the line. Vonham with 6 first half points. Driving in, swings it out in the corner. Smith attacks, banks it off the glass. Second bucket for Smith. And the lead is 7 as we go inside 5 minutes to go. I'd like to see the Dolphins pick up the energy on this side of the court again. They were free-flowing offensively to start this game. Richard Bland's gone to this zone, and the Dolphins are figuring it out right now. Going to call a foul in the lane on Richard Bland on Smith. And this time I'm sure, so second team foul on Richard Bland. Statesman had a slow start under new head coach Guillermo Cabrera, but winning their first 2 Region 10 games. Latham, strong move, and that ball's tipped. It's recovered by Vonham. And the Statesmen, credit them. Their defense has really picked up as this half has gone on. Smith trying to attack Green. Green blocked him. Ty Barbie coming back in. Latham sits down. Really nice first half for Amari Latham with 5 points and at least that many rebounds. So he's got a shot at a double-double here in this game. Brown to the far side. Here is Ramirez. Leads him with 9 points. Hand off to Costa. Vonham. Now Smith in the corner. Shot clock is at 5. Brown attacking. Nice athletic play there by Brown, who's got 7. This is a 5-point game now. So 11-point lead down to 5. Cam Oates making the unselfish play, and it's Landon King answering with his first triple today. This game today features 5 of the top 12 scorers in Region 10. For Brunswick, Oates is 6th, Henderson 11th, and Landon King 12th. And for Richard Bland, Brown has 7, and Ramirez is 8th in Region 10 in points per game. Speaking of Brown, he goes to work, swishes it in, and he's up to 9. So Brown and Ramirez team high with 9. Landon getting it down low, and Green has it blocked. Staying with it, though, is Barbie. So the celebration for the Richard Bland bench, a little bit premature. Oh, what a pocket pick there. Cam Oates. Second steal for Cam as he goes to work, throws a rocket to Ty, and then Ty got tied up. They're going to call it a jump ball. Hit the ground hard, but looks like he's okay. All right, final timeout of the half with 3:04 left to go. 38-30, Brunswick. Welcome back, everybody, with 3 minutes and 4 seconds left to go until halftime. It's Brunswick 38, Richard Bland 30. My name's Chris Sheeman. Glad to be back with you. Armani Henderson with 14 points here in this first half for Brunswick. Latham Bartney and King all with 5 points each. Green's got 4, Oates with 3, and 2 for Barbie. For Richard Bland, 2 guys, Ramirez and Brown, with 9 points each. And then Vonham with 6. It's Dolphins basketball. They've led by as many as 11. Those of you joining us maybe a little bit late. And Brown with another steal. Dolphins with some just misguided passes here in this first half at times. Brown backing down. King stays with him. Brown scores anyway. Second player in double figures in the game. Brown now with 11. Doyle Brown came in averaging 15.9. He might have that at halftime. Lead is 6 for Brunswick. Landon King in the corner. It's Oates for 3. Too strong. Green's got the rebound. Henderson back to King. 2:17 left to go in the half. King for 3. Henderson tried for the rebound. Now he chases it down in the corner. Out to Oates from downtown. Got it to go. Second triple for Cam Oates. All his points from behind the arc. Lead back to 9. Smith into the circle, into the lane, and a blocking foul going to be called on Green. 7th team foul on Brunswick. This will be a 2-shot foul for Smith. Smith missed a couple from the charity stripe earlier. Richard Bland has had some struggles from the free throw line here in this first half, where the game would be pretty close to even. And Smith up to 5 points as he gets the first one to go. Jalen Smith, 11 points per ball game, 9.3 rebounds. Double-double threat for the guard/forward. Mike Hayes is back in the game. Richard Bland yesterday in the win against Denmark Tech was 1 of 12 from 3, but they hit 25 of 41 from the free throw line. They have been good at getting to the free throw line this weekend. Right now they trail by 7. They had 18 assists on 22 field goal makes too yesterday, Richard Bland, in that blowout over Denmark Tech. King, Oates, Henderson. Back to Cam. Again, they're just running bodies. Landon King fakes the 3. He'll attack. Leaves it for Barbie. Puts it off the glass. Nice patient offense there by Brunswick against the trapping zone. Minute 19 left to play in the half. Dolphins back up by 9, and Ty got him on the back. So Smith back at the line, hit a couple moments ago. 18 fouls on Brunswick. This is one of those areas for Brunswick, free throw disparities and sending opponents to the free throw line. I don't know if that went in or not. These huddle cameras, I've said it did go in, so the scoreboard was a little bit late. Whoever trained these huddle cameras to just follow who the most players or whoever was moving, like train it to follow the basketball. Because wherever the basketball is, that's where we want to be. $1 billion idea for your huddle. Tip up no by Hayes off the Henderson miss. So a minute to work with here for the Statesmen. They're trying to make a little push here. Baseline shot by Brown is too strong. And then on the rebound, a foul on the Statesmen. Just their 3rd, though, so they can stay aggressive down the stretch here in this final minute. If I'm Coach Cabrera, I'm reminding his team, we have just 3 fouls here in this half, so we can spend the next minute using up 3 more. Being active like that, Brown's got really active hands. Doyle Brown and Andy Ramirez came in averaging about 4 steals a game combined. We got a timeout. 49 and a half seconds left to go. We'll take a quick break. All right, Dolphins have 49 and a half on the game clock and 22 on the shot clock. Cam Oates over to Landon King. King, step back three, got fouled. And Landon King's going to go to the line. Well, when I said use your fouls up, that's not what I had in mind. You don't want to send Landon King to the free throw line. Good free throw shooter, 71%. Landon on the season, 13.6 points per ball game, 3.3 assists. Shooting 37% from three this season. And Coach Cabrera, I feel your pain, Coach. That's a bad foul. So King with 5 points, chance to get up to 8 as he nails the first free throw. Can also put Brunswick up double figures again. They've led by as many as 11, those of you just joining us. Dolphins came in averaging 89.5 points per ball game. So King gets 2 out of 3, 7 points for him, 9-point lead for Brunswick. This is about where they've been most of today. Very early on, we had a lot of back and forth. 2 ties and 3 lead changes. But since really that first media timeout, there really hasn't been much. Brunswick has had the lead throughout. Now the shot clock will be off. So Dolphins get the stop. Late sub, Richard Agbo. Doesn't see a lot of run, is in the game. And Latham will come in for Mike Hayes. See if they bring Agbo in to maybe use up some fouls here. They still got a couple more to play with. So Dolphins break the trap. Out deep, Cam Oates. Clock down to 8 seconds. And there's the first foul. So they got one more to work with. Brown commits the foul. And with 6.7, again, they've got one more to use. Henderson inbounds to Cam. They went real quick with that one with 5.8. So Ramirez called for his first, and now Dolphins can play it out here. Cam Oates takes a contested 3. It's no good, and that'll do it for the first half. Overall, pretty good performance here on the road for Brunswick as they lead it 45-36, looking for their first Region 10 victory, and they're 20 minutes away from that. We'll take the halftime break. We'll come back in about 15 minutes, bring you all the second half action here on YouTube. All right, welcome back to Richard Bland. Chris Sheeman back here at the home studio in Ohio. It's 45-36, Brunswick by 9. They led in the first half by as many as 11. They had that lead 3 different times. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being with us here today. Let's run down the first half stats for Richard Bland. One player in double figures. It's Doyle Brown with 11. Andy Ramirez close behind him with 9. Then Smith with 8, Vonham with 6, and Fishburne with 2. That's it. Bulk of the offense from really just 2 or 3 guys. For Brunswick, what a first half it was for Armani Henderson. 14 points, a game high, including 3 triples. Also in the first half, Landon King with 7 points. He was starting to heat up late. Cam Oates with 6. Blake Bartney and Amari Latham with 5 points each. And then Ty Barbie and Derek Green have 4 points each. So that's the scoring in the first half as we're just about set to go here in this second period. Dolphins trying to get their first Region 10 victory and in this 3-game road trip on a positive note after falling both games last weekend in South Carolina. And for Richard Bland, game 2 of a 4-game homestand, trying to keep that streak alive in the region. They've won their first 2 games in Region 10, but they're going to have to come from behind to do just that. A Richard Bland Statesman team, they came in averaging just under 8 steals per game. That really has kept them in the game. Their pressure and getting in passing lanes. Dolphins ditto. As you see there, Mike Hayes Jr. getting the start here in this second half. Foul trouble with both Green and Gardner, so we might see a little small ball for Walter Shaw here in this second period. Cam Oates out on the run. Oates into the lane, throws it up off the glass. What an athletic play by Cam Oates. Wow. So this matches the biggest lead of the game for either team. Richard Bland did have 3 leads in the first half very early on. It was pretty tight, just 2 3-point leads at most for the Statesmen. As they try to answer back with a triple of their own, Brown is off. Another offensive rebound. Costin getting the start here in the second half, and he gets fouled. That's really the only nitpicky thing today for Brunswick. Maybe a few too many turnovers and a few too many fouls. But otherwise, they have played much better here on the road than they did last weekend. Although, I mean, that Salk game was crazy. Like I said in the first half, the Salk's almost playing that Paul Westhead Loyola Marymount thing down there. So they got all kinds of offense cooking and pressing and trapping, and Brown turning it over, so Dolphins, after committing the foul, get a stop. Chambers is going to come in for Vonham, early sub for first-year head coach Guillermo Cabrera. So first minute in, Dolphins looking to up its biggest lead now. Henderson's been the hot hand. He's got the basketball. Cam Oates. It's been zone most of today for Richard Bland. Ditto for Brunswick. As Barbie, his pass is knocked out of bounds. So Dolphins have 14 on the shot clock. Dolphins return home on Wednesday against Wake. We'll have it for you at 6 p.m. Wrap January on the road at Caldwell on Friday. 5 of 7 will be at home in February, so we're going to be with you a bunch in February. Cam Oates leaves it down low. Ty Barbie couldn't quite get it to go. Out on the run, the Statesman 2-on-1. Nice bounce pass to Chambers, and then he loses it out of bounds. The recovery there defensively for Brunswick, forcing him into a mistake. Guillermo Cabrera is really unhappy with that result. Dolphins breaking the press again. Landon King on the far side of your screen. Going to work into the lane and got blocked by the backboard. Here's Smith into the forecourt for the Statesmen. Numbers for Richard Bland. King was slow to get back, but they pulled up. And that attacking play by Smith came up short. Nice defense there on the interior. From the elbow, Cam Oates can't get it to go. Ball is live on the floor, picked up by Smith. A helter-skelter start to this half as Cam Oates tips it. It's recovered by Ramirez, who's got 9 points in the game. And now Richard Bland will set things up here. Smith gets it back from Ramirez. And an open look at a three by Chambers. Too strong. King's got the rebound. Landon King into the front court to Henderson. Henderson on the baseline. And Mike Hayes wild on the reverse shot down low. Here's Costin. Blocked but fouled. They say by Henderson. That will be the second team foul on Brunswick. And free throws upcoming here for Richard Bland. Women's coach Joe Gaughan texted me at halftime. We were talking about Flow Sports and how the CAA and a lot of those D1 Christmas tournaments just a ripoff. $30 a month for Flow Sports. So basically nobody's watching the CAA. How do you justify, if you're a basketball coach in that conference, I would be livid. How am I supposed to recruit behind that kind of a paywall? Fishburne is back in for Richard Bland, and Green checks back in for Brunswick. $30 a month. And I had heard this, and it was confirmed that some of the UNC Wilmington games are aired locally, but Coach Joe was telling me that apparently they had a close game against Towson. It was aired locally, but it went a little bit long, and the local TV station cut off the end of it. It was like a 2-point game, and they cut it off. Oh, the CAA. I could take over that contract with my $100 Android phones and do much better. That is going to be free throws for Ramirez now as the fouls are really piling up for Brunswick. They're up to 3 team fouls. Don't mind that one necessarily. Most of the defense at the rim to start this second half for Brunswick has been very good, but free throws right now for Ramirez, chance for him to get into double digits. Andy Ramirez, 78% at the line this season. Currently stuck on 9 points. And he is in double figures now. So every time the Dolphins take their biggest lead, Richard Bland kind of mucks things up here, and they're trying to work themselves back in it again. So Ramirez matches Brown for the team high with 11. Lead is down to 7 now, 3 minutes into the half. Cam Oates, Landon King in the backcourt against the trap. And they throw it to Henderson front court. Ty Barbie is open for 3. Airballed it. And it's out of bounds, last touched by Green. So let's see what Richard Bland can do here. Trying to further cut into this deficit. Fishburne just 2 points today. Good ball movement. Finding Costin. Puts it up short. Nice defense there by Green. Again, staying vertical without fouling. Oh, get it to him. Had trouble with the pass, and it's another steal for Smith. I believe that's his 3rd already today. Smith goes coast to coast, can't score. He's been aggressive, but coming up empty. Now 2 guys down for Richard Bland, 5 on 3, and Henderson lost it out of bounds. Sloppy second half so far in this one. So again, Dolphins letting Richard Bland hang around here in this one. Mike Hayes is back in the game for Green. Fishburne between the circles. Ramirez, left wing triple off the back rim. Tip for the rebound. It's going out of bounds off Henderson. So it'll stay with the Statesman. That's going to lead us to our first timeout. 47-40. Brunswick leading by 7. Welcome back, everybody. 15:54 left to go in the game, and Brunswick 47-40. Chris Sheeman, glad to be back here with you. So we've got 2 games for you this week. On Tuesday, the women taking on Lewisburg at 5, and then Dolphins guys back at home on Wednesday against Wake at 6. Dolphins going to be home a lot in February, 5 of 7 at home. After starting this Region 10 action here in the new year on the road, Henderson almost had a steal. Came up just a bit short. Richard Bland with 12 on the shot clock. That ball's tipped. Mike Hayes Jr. had to save it, but it went into the backcourt. So he tried to keep it front court, but had the steal for a moment. And now Richard Bland's going to get it back. Now, did possession ever change there? They've got the shot clock at 20. If possession changed, I don't see why the shot clock's not at 30. And if possession didn't change, the shot clock shouldn't have been reset at all. But either way, it's down to 10. Here's Fishburne on the baseline. Swings it out. Ramirez. 5 to shoot. They got to get going. Right back to Ramirez. Nice extra pass. Couldn't get the 3, and then Costin's going to commit the foul over the back. That is the first foul on Richard Bland. Again, Statesman remaining in this trap. Had a couple steals early on. Dolphins have been better against it here in the second half as they go right to the hoop, and Landon King approaching double figures now with 9. Lead back to 9 here, 5 minutes into this second half. Brown with the extra pass out to Smith. Back to Brown. Brown, defense stays with him, strips him. Here is King. Oates. Oates is stripped, and they say he touched it last out of bounds, so he wasn't stripped. He just lost it out of bounds. It has been sloppy here in the second half. Costin to Brown. Swings it up. Fishburne in the corner. Down to Smith. Smith hangs and scores. Waited patiently there. Smith in double figures now. Third player for Richard Bland in double figures now with 10. Lead is 7 for Brunswick. Henderson rockets it for Mike Hayes, and it's a steal by Fishburne. Another turnover for Brunswick. Going to be curious to see the box score on this one. A lot of turnovers. Ramirez. Here's Brown from the elbow. So the air ball gives it back to Brunswick. Vonham coming back in for Richard Bland. Gardner back in for Brunswick as Hayes gets a break. Henderson, Cam Oates, hot potatoing it into the front court. Here's Zion. And Zion, flat-footed, got it to go for his first bucket. 59% field goal shooter. Got the little midi. Dolphins by 9 again. Like I said, 7-11 is the range we've been in for most of this game. Dolphins. Oh, Henderson was waiting for that one. Here he goes. And Henderson now with a game-high 16 points. Dolphins again matching the biggest lead at 11. We're 7 minutes into this second half. Vonham attacks over Gardner, got it to go. That's not easy to do. Nice play there. Emmanuel Vonham shooting 60% from the field off the bench. Henderson's over 60% on the season as well. Derek Green shooting 68%. I don't think he has enough shot attempts to qualify, as Oates is long on the three. Fishburne out to Brown for three. Yes. Brown now trying to catch Henderson. He's up to 14 points. And again, not a very good three-point shooting team, but Richard Bland finding their moments from behind the arc here this afternoon. Henderson going to work. Puts it up, no. Fight for the rebound, and it's going out of bounds off Gardner. .12:10 to go in the game. Brunswick's lead is down to 6. And some instruction from Coach Cabrera. And now they're going to call timeout. I think he wanted to wait until the under 12 maybe to make an immediate timeout. So we'll step aside. 11:58 left to go in the game. We'll be back with the Dolphins leading by 6. That's me, Chris Sheeman. Glad to be back with you. I know it's kind of late into January, but since this is our first game together here in 2025, hopefully you had a great holiday break and settling into the new year nicely. So inside 12 minutes to go for Brunswick. They've led by as many as 11. It's down to 6. Richard Bland just hanging around here. And it's kind of nervous, almost a turnover there as players colliding. But anytime you're on the road and you're letting the home team just kind of hang around like this, you got to put them away. Another extra chance opportunity. I mentioned Smith, a good rebounder, and he's going to the free throw line. Jalen Smith, 9.3 rebounds per game. Wait, are we taking another timeout? Oh, Coach. Coach Cabrera is saying, look, I called that timeout. Let's make that the media timeout. Coach, I'm with you, man. These media timeouts are crazy. It's enough. But I guess we're going away again. So we'll be back. Okay, welcome back. 11:40 left to go. Free throws to come here for Jalen Smith, 69% free throw shooter, in double figures already with 10 points. Third on the team in scoring here today as he comes up short. Brown's got 14, Ramirez 11, Smith with 10. Henderson's has 16, 2 here in the second half for Brunswick, as their lead now is trickled down to 5. So Dolphins got to pick it up on the offensive end again. They've gone through some scoring lulls here in this game. In one right now. King, Oates, Gardner, Latham in the game, and Henderson out of the timeout. They go down low. Gardner, the flip shot is short, and the rebound comes to Ramirez off the tip. Ramirez top of the key. Ramirez into the lane, splits the defense, can't score, but he got fouled. And Zion Gardner saying, how can I play defense without fouling? Please tell me. I didn't see a lot there, but if he got him on the wrist, then 5 team fouls on Brunswick, and I don't know, the energy right now for the Dolphins, not great. So Ramirez at the line, 78% free throw shooter, can make it a one-possession game. And this is as close as Richard Bland has been since probably that first media timeout when we were nip and tuck. So Dolphins got to wake back up. Ramirez makes it a 3-point game, I believe. Yeah, 53-50. Oates, King. Back to Cam now. Shot clock is down to 7, and the Dolphins finding Cam Oates for 3. Can't get it to go. Brunswick is cold right now, nearing the midway point here in this second half. Richard Bland can tie it with a 3. Here's Brown between the circles. Fishburne hasn't looked for his shot. Smith blocked by Gardner. Smith staying with it, and Latham ties him up. Jump ball possession arrow does favor Brunswick. So Brunswick will get it, in desperate need of some points here. King bounce passes it front court to Oates. Oates attacks, gets around 2 guys, and he's stripped but fouled. So Cam Oates going to the line, opportunity to get into double figures here for Cam. 68% free throw shooter, keep that streak alive. He's double figure scoring in 7 straight games. Cam actually had a double-double against Central Carolina back in late December. As the first free throw is off the back rim. Boy, Dolphins cannot buy it right now. Oates 14th in the NJCAA in three-point attempts and makes. 56 for 150. Landon King's top 100 too. He's 37 from 100, but there's a lid on the rim right now in the basket for Brunswick. Can Richard Bland capitalize? It's a 1-point game as Ramirez now with 15. 53-52. I told you, you let the home team hang around like this. Dolphins went up by 11 early on in this second half. They needed to keep the foot on the gas. Instead, they have gotten sloppy with the basketball. And the reverse shot, no good. Vonham puts Richard Bland up for the first time since the opening minute. It's our 4th lead change of the game. We had 3 lead changes very early on. Landon King answers back. Big bucket there by Landon as they go to the veteran guard, who's now got 12 points. So Brunswick by 2 again, 9 minutes to go in the game. Vonham flips it up, able to get it to go. So Vonham's got a dozen. Third tie of the game. Landon King looking down low. Stead gets it to Henderson, swings it out. Latham for three. Too strong. Another rebound for Ramirez pushing it. Ramirez leaving it, and the pass is a little bit off the mark. Vonham went to the floor, and on the tie-up, it'll be Richard Bland basketball. Elias Bowser is in the game. Bowser saying he deflected it off Brown. Good energy off the bench. Mike Hayes coming in for Gardner, who departs with 2 points. So Mike Hayes Jr., Elias Bowser, Henderson King, and Latham right now for Walter Shaw's team. All tied at 56. Richard Bland erasing an 11-point deficit. Fishburne swings it over. The three is good. And that is Chambers. Correction, that's Ramirez. So Ramirez now a game-high 18 points. King will try to tie us up again. Can't get it to go. Long rebound to Bowser, and I think away from the basketball, we got a foul called on Brunswick. That is going to be 6 team fouls on the Dolphins. So Richard Bland with all the momentum and on their way to the bonus as well. We'll take time. Dolphins got to figure it out here on the road. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Dolphins in some trouble now after kind of cruising in this game. They're behind by 3 as the momentum has swung back to Richard Bland here. And it'll be, I don't see any changes for Brunswick. Smith out there with Fishburne. Ramirez has been heating up. He's up to 18 points, a game high. Henderson was 16 for Brunswick, but quieter here in the second half. 7:46 to go in the game. Fishburne to Ramirez in the corner. Backing down on Landon King. Turnaround Jay, no good. And it's out of bounds off Bowser, they say. Boy, I really thought Brown might have touched that last, but the official was right there. And it'll be Statesman basketball. Vonham from left of the lane, backing down on Amari Latham. And Latham stays with him. Here's Landon King now. Landon pushing. Landon stripped. So it'll stay with Brunswick. Credit Richard Bland, their defense has really improved, especially in the second half. This zone has frustrated Brunswick at times. Part of the reason why Landon was going so quick there, try to get some easy points as he goes right to the rim that time. Boy, I praise the defense, and that's the job they do. Landon King with 14 now. It's a 1-point game. Richard Bland, 59-58. 7 minutes to go. Smith out deep. Ramirez. Fishburne. Smith with 11 points, trying to add to it. Bucket and the foul. And the home crowd loves it. Jalen Smith. Good aggressive offense. Chance for a three-point opportunity and to give his team its biggest lead this afternoon. These first Region 10 games have been a bit surprising for Brunswick. The last we saw them, they had, for the first time ever, gone 3-0 in their own Christmas tournament, beating a nationally ranked Harcum team. Not surprised they lost to Salk on the road. Surprised they lost to Denmark, who Richard Bland beat by 23 yesterday. What a backdoor cut that was. Ramirez forced to hang into an awkward angle. Credit Latham on the defense there. Landon King drawing contact, couldn't get the bucket, but he'll get 2 free throws. Shows you the depth of this region, though. Top to bottom, there's no easy victories anymore in Region 10. I mentioned that last year with that Denmark team. That used to be the gimme game. So Landon King, 71% free throw shooter, and the Dolphins just in a funk. That was the third team foul for Richard Bland, by the way. You see their scoreboard down there. Dolphins have already put the Statesmen in the bonus. King with 14 points. Make it 15 as he gets 1 out of 2. Lead is 2. Dolphins led by 11 3 different times in the first half, then once here early on in the second half. Smith driving. Smith unable to score. Henderson the rebound. Gardner back in the game. Landon King, corner pocket. Can't get the 3 to go. Mike Hayes trying to save it. Ran out of real estate. Inside 6 to go. 5:50 to be exact. 2-point game. Out deep, Fishburne. There's Brown. Vonham swings it over to the left side. And then Ramirez, his entry pass deflected out. Richard Bland will have 16 on the shot clock. Fishburne into Vonham. Smith, top of the key. Here's Ramirez. And Ramirez is fouled by Mike Hayes. Another foul late in the shot clock for Brunswick. And a 1-and-1 for Richard Bland on the 8th team foul on Brunswick. Andy Ramirez, 78% at the line, 15 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, and 2.3 steals per game. Good all-around player, gets the front end. It's up to 19 points here today. And Ramirez now with 20, a game high. 63-59. A little bit of trouble in the backcourt. Henderson gets it to King front court. Henderson's pass is tipped. What a play by Ramirez. With the Globetrotter dribble move to keep possession, and now Fishburne is fouled. And this is starting to look bleak here for Brunswick. where is the energy at right now? A lot of hands on hips. Where's Cam Oates? Cam's been on the bench for a while. Not sure if he might have been in foul trouble. As the first free throw goes down. Fishburne, first point since the early going. Ty Barbie comes in. Mike Hayes Jr. out. Barbie with 4 points. There he is. There's Cam. Bowser will go to the bench. Oates with 8 points today. So Dolphins facing their biggest deficit. It's 6. 2-possession game, though. Still plenty of time. Dolphins got to get cooking again. They played a really nice first half, offensively and defensively. But the offense just has not come here in this second half. They have just 14 points. Landon King in rhythm, no. And the putback is blown by Green. Barbie tries it, comes up short. It's just not happening offensively for Brunswick. Even the easy ones are not going down. Fishburne out deep. 4.5 remaining. Henderson with the tip. And then they're going to get Smith on the foul there. Fourth foul on Richard Bland. There's the defense we've come to know and love from Armani Henderson. Will that give the Dolphins a little boost? Let's see what happens here offensively. 4:24 to go in the game. Landon King goes to the far side, down low to the big guy Green, puts it up and gets it to go. 4-point game. Green with 6. Smith on the far side. Now takes it closer to us. Barbie on him. Oates coming to help, and we're going to get a timeout. 3:59 left to go. We will step aside with the Dolphins trailing by 4. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. A cold second half for Brunswick. They're down by 4. Still tons of time in this game, though, as we've got 3:59 left to go. So Brunswick just got to find that energy again and get back to what they were doing so well in that first half. They had 45 points at the half. Just 16 here in this second half, though. As it'll be same lineup, King, Barbie, Green, Oates, Henderson. Ramirez, Brown, Fishburne, Smith, and I'm missing one guy. Can't quite see the jersey number. Vonham. So that's the 5 right now for Richard Bland. They've got 9 to shoot out of this timeout, by the way. It's down to 5. They got to get going. They get it to their hot hand here in the second half, but Ramirez long on the 3. Barbie the rebound. Barbie into the front court. Henderson. Oates, the ball fake. Now back to Henderson. He'll back it out. See if Henderson starts to take things over. He was hot in the first half. They're feeding the big guy down low. Green gets it to roll, and the foul. Second consecutive bucket for Derek Green. Opportunity for an old school three-point play. Green has struggled a bit from the free throw line this season. 11.6 rebounds a game for Derek Green. Chance to get to 9 points here this afternoon. Got it to go. That's a big one for Green. 1 point game. 15 foul on Richard Bland, by the way. 3:20 to go in the game. Here's Smith out deep with it, directing traffic. Handoff to Ramirez. Ooh, he had Brown backdoor. Got it to him a little bit late, so Brown gives it up. Vonham drives. Green. Nice defense there. Henderson into the front court. Dolphins trying to get the lead back. Oates thought about it. Now he'll back it out. Cam Oates has been in double figures in 7 straight games, stuck on 8 points right now. Barbie, was that a shot or a pass? I'm calling pass on that. I am calling pass on that. I think he did that intentionally. You could kind of see him. Dolphins back up by 1, 6th lead change of the game. Here goes Smith now. Smith puts it up and in. Answers right back. What a play by Smith. He's up to 15 points. 7th lead change, 2:22 left to go. Henderson out deep. Green up top. Barbie calling for it. Henderson. Actually, Barbie ended up setting a screen there for Henderson, who's now got 18 to lead his team. So we've had 3 lead changes in the last couple of minutes. Brunswick leads it by 1 with 2:07 left to go in the game. Possession arrow favors Brunswick. Dolphins about to send Richard Bland into the double bonus. 9 team fouls for Brunswick. Richard Bland still with just 5, so they've got 1 more foul to work with here down the stretch. Leading scorer in the game is Andy Ramirez, who's got 20. 15 for Smith, 14 for Brown, 12 for Vonham, 4 for Fishburne, 2 for Costin for Richard Bland. Henderson has 18 points. King with 15. Green in double figures with 11. Then Oates with 8. Latham, Bartney with 5 points each. Barbie with 4. And Zion Gardner with 2. That's the scoring here in this one. And the game reset in honor of the late, great Greg Gumbel, who used to do that so well. So Statesman basketball, 2:07 to go in the game. And Richard Bland trailing by 1. If you're just joining us, Dolphins led by as many as 11, 4 different times, including early in the second half. Richard Bland is led by as many as 6. That was just moments ago. Shot clock is at 12. Fishburne lost it, got it back. Brown attacking. Brown with 5 to shoot. Got it to go. Tough move. His second tough move down the stretch. We have yet another lead change. 9 in the game, with 4 of them coming in the last minute or so. Oates needed some help in the backcourt. Instead, it's deflected. It'll stay with Brunswick. They've got 2 seconds to get it across, though, with 1:28 to go in the game. Costin comes in for Fishburne to provide maybe some length here to try to get this 10-second violation. Good sub there by Guillermo Cabrera. So Dolphins get it into the front court. No trouble. Ty Barbie. Now Cam Oates out deep with it. Shot clock is at 15 as the Dolphins set up their offense here. Got to be mindful of that. They stay with Oates. Down low, Green. Slam dunk. Dolphins back up. 10th lead change. 70-69 as we go back and forth down the stretch. 1:05 left to go in the game. Buckle up. Smith has been so deliberate, but so good offensively, along with Ramirez today and Brown. Smith looking to go to work again. Leaves it down low. It's blocked. Costin comes up short. Ty Barbie. What a defensive play there. So Dolphins 42 seconds now, working the clock. A 3 here makes it a 2-possession game. Cam Oates looking to get it down low instead to Henderson. 5 to shoot for Brunswick. Henderson going to have to create. He throws up a wild shot, gets it to go. What a play. Henderson, his second crazy bucket of the game. Henderson hit almost like a one-footer fading away 3 in the first half. And then he gets that crazy thing to go down. And Walter Shaw checking his heart rate over on the sideline as the teams go to the bench, with Richard Bland getting the basketball back in a 1-possession game. Unbelievable. So for Brunswick, couple things to keep in mind. Richard Bland is a team that shoots collectively 29% from 3. Dub Fishburne, who has not looked for his shot much at all, just 2 attempts that I've got him down for, is a very good 3-point shooter at 47%. But again, he's not a guy who looks for his shot a lot. So I don't know how many attempts he actually has. Brown is 32%. Ramirez is just 26%. Smith 11%. Costin is 22%. So do they go 3, or do they try to stretch this into a longer game and go 2-possession? With 19.7, if you're Richard Bland, you've got time for a 2-possession game, as Landon King slaps the official on the back there. I think Brunswick might have been trying to make a late sub here. I'm not 100% sure what was going on, but we're good to go, I think, now. So let's see if they try to go quickly, get something at the rim, or if they go for the 3 and try to tie it. Brown's been hot. Ramirez has been hot. Well, they're definitely not going for 2 here. Smith has the ball with 5. Over to Ramirez for the tie. No, the putback is good. But wait a minute, they called a foul on Richard Bland with 1.9. They're going to wave that bucket off, and the Dolphins are going to survive this thing. So over the back on the putback attempt there for Richard Bland. And the Dolphins are 1 free throw away from icing this thing. And Richard Bland's going to call timeout before that. We're going to step aside. A crazy finish in Petersburg, Virginia. And we'll have it for you when we get back. Okay, so just 1.9 to go. Dolphins just got to get this thing in, hit a free throw, and game's theirs. For Richard Bland, you pretty much have to steal it here. If you can't get a turnover here, you're in trouble. And Oates is fouled with .6. Well, this is an opportunity for Cam Oates. Now, that should be the 7th team foul. Are they saying that was only the 6th? They had 6 on the scoreboard before the timeout. Yeah, they pick up their 6th foul on the putback attempt on the other end. So this is a 1-1 here for Oates. And again, Dolphins really just need one here, but this game is likely theirs unless something ridiculous. With .6, you have time for a catch and shoot. You don't have time for a probably don't have time for a turn catch and shoot, though. Cam misses it, and it's a rebound to Richard Bland, but they run out of time, and the Dolphins survive this game down the stretch. We had a total in the game of 10 lead changes and 3 ties. But 5 of those lead changes came in the closing minutes, and Brunswick survives. They get their first Region 10 victory. They're 1-2 in the region, 13-4 overall. Richard Bland falls to 4-9 and 2-1 in the region. And Brunswick will have a good trip home despite a little bit of a jittery second half. The Dolphins win it here today. We're going to be with you again on Wednesday. Back on Walter Shaw Court as Wake Tech comes to town. We'll have that for you Wednesday here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Until then, everybody, stay warm, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again midweek. Take care.